Ave everyone, it's 11:55 on Friday, June 2nd, 2017. And today, as mentioned yesterday, we are going to see Wartburg Castle. I was mostly interested in it because it is the place where Martin Luther went after his kerfluffle with the Catholic Church. It is said that he translated the New Testament into German for the first time here. As you can tell by the lighting, this was filmed much later, at 1915 if you want to be semi-exact, but I had to learn all this stuff before I can clue you in on it. So here's a brief history of Wartburg Castle. It was first constructed around the year 1067, although none of the buildings you see here date from that period. It was expanded in the 1400s to more or less its present dimensions, but again, most of the structures here are not original, though some are to that period. It was constructed to its present state in the late 1800s. As mentioned previously, it's famous for being the nearly one-year residence of Martin Luther after he fled from the Catholic Church, and wherein he translated his September Testament. It is also famous in the Catholic tradition for being the home of Saint Elizabeth, who you can read about in the link in the description. It was also the site of the legendary Battle of the Bards. After a most excellent sleep, I did awake around 8:30, but for some reason I just lacked the motivation to get up and get going, so I didn't until about 20 minutes ago. Anyway, noon 15 now, and I just came up from the road there on the left, found this footpath into the woods, taking a step over to investigate this shrine, whatever it is. Je geht raus, je geht raste. The Kranak. I don't know. It may not even be German. But anyway, now that I've investigated that, whatever that was, I can either continue up the road to the right, but there is no sidewalk, or I can take this footpath to the left. So I have no idea where it goes, and I don't have any kind of map of trails or anything in this area. I'd be willing to guess that it goes up to the castle. So let's have an adventure, shall we? If this is what it's like with the trail, I, for one, would definitely not want to be storming this castle. As you can see by the castle disappearing off to my left, it leads to the right place. Okay, well they had signs coming in that said no pictures, but they're in German. And if I'm reading my German correctly, they just meant not in the special exhibition. So taking pictures and a series of thousands of pictures per minute, wait, is that accurate? I don't know, I'm off of school, I'm not gonna do math right now, is permissible in places such as this. But if I randomly get cut off, now you know why. I wonder what that is. 1833, now that I've exited the special exhibition, which includes pretty much the entire interior of the castle, so unfortunately I couldn't get any more documentation of that, but it was quite pretty. Definitely recommend stopping by here if you're ever in the area. Anyway, let's take some more looks around before they kick us out of here. This thing is kind of cool. It's a replica of a medieval covered wagon, specially built for this Martin Luther exhibition. It is the only such replica in existence. And I'm not 100% sure if I should be getting video or pictures of it, but it's late enough, nobody cares. Sorry people if I don't have the rights to this. This would be a really beautiful place to stay and watch the sunset, but according to my weather app, it's not for another approximately 2.5 hours. And while it would be relaxing to stand around that long, I still have that walk down the hill back to the hotel to do. So I think, unfortunately, at 19:06, I'm going to have to leave this medieval wonder and head back to the hotel. Well, shoot, it's 1932 and I just discovered this path around the outside of the castle that talks about the building and modernization of Wartburg Castle, so I guess now I have to do this too. 1950 and they're kicking me out. Fortunately though, they closed the gate to that path that I was on, so they had to lead me up into the castle by a back way, which gave me the opportunity to get some pictures I would not have otherwise gotten from an interesting angle. Anyway, I shall now begin descending the hill. So, I decided to descend via what appears to be a more direct path that leads directly under the drawbridge back towards town. As an aside, I wonder if when they closed they raised that drawbridge. I'm half a mind to stick around and find out. But anyway, this doesn't have the Eisenach name that I would hope it did, but it does have that. If only I had the stamina to walk 27.3 kilometers and find out what on earth that is, because I bet it's interesting. That random footpath that I took in the woods to get here, it's split off with a fork to the left and a fork to the right, and I took the right fork because it headed directly up a flight of stairs. That brought me to the parking lot, from which it's a rather steep but short climb up an old brick-paved pathway to the castle's entrance. Methinks that this is the other fork of that path. Time will tell. As an aside, I didn't stick around to see if they were bringing up the drawbridge because I already get the feeling that they were waiting for me to leave. Anyway, better concentrate on not falling down the cliff. Still no signs for the town, but I can see where this meets up with the trail that I took earlier today, just a little ways up ahead. Maybe they don't have signs because they assume everyone on here is either going to be coming up from that town and therefore knows how to get there, since both trails lead to the castle and both will lead back to the same spot when you take them on the return, or else are experienced hikers, as this segment of path is the start of a trail that goes from Eisenach to Budapest along the borders of Germany, Czech Republic, and Hungary if I interpreted that sign up at the start of it correctly. Regardless, it is now 2013 and I am back on the original trail, soon to be back on the paved road on my way back into the town of Eisenach. And here we find another choice. I came up the paved part of the road, which is now on our left, but I wonder where the path on our right goes. But this time I'm going to make the choice to stay on the paved road, because that could go off into who knows where mountains. Haha, made it. There's kind of what it looks like. Nice little place. I just got back around 2040, but I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to go out to a Subway. I know, so original. But all the restaurants near here look nice, and I don't want to shower and change just to go to dinner and then come right back. Ordinarily, I'm fine with doing that, and I think it's really fancy and cool, but not when I've only packed enough clothes to last me if I wear every set of clothes 3 times. I managed to acquire food, and I'm now back at the hotel at 22:07. I should have brought the video camera, I realized that, but I forgot, so oh well. Anyway, I would like to get to bed soon, but there's a couple things I have to get done first, so decide what I'm going to do tomorrow, and then get to bed. V out.